The ancient Egypt is one of the most remarkable and enduring civilization of the human history, spanning over 3,000 years from 3100 BCE to 30 BCE. Centered along the Nile River in northeastern Africa, this civilization is renowned for its achievements in architecture, art, writing, science, and governance. In prehistoric Egypt, people started settling alongside the Nile River. That was lifeline of ancient Egypt for providing fertile soil for agriculture. Through its annual flooding, Egypt was divided into two parts: southern Egypt with upstream and northern Egypt with downstream, based on the flow of the Nile River. Ancient Egypt is divided into three periods: Old Kingdom spanning from 2575 to 2130, Middle Kingdom from 1938 to 1630, and New Kingdom from 1539 to 1071, with some intermediate periods in between known as the First Intermediate Period spanning from 2130 to 1938 and Second Intermediate Period from 1630 to 1540 BCE. Around 3100 BCE, King Narmer, also known as Menes, united the Upper and Lower Egypt and is known as the founder of the First Dynasty as the Pharaoh of unified Egypt, with Memphis as the capital. Early dynastic period laid the foundation of distinctive features, including centralized government, where the pharaoh held both political and religious authority. This period started the use of hieroglyphic writing, and concept of divine kingship was solidified, where pharaoh was seen as intermediary between gods and humans, and architecture started including Abydos and Saqqara and mastaba tombs, the early structure for later pyramids. The Old Kingdom lasted from 2575 to 2130 BCE, including 3rd to 6th dynasties. It represents the time of prosperity, centralized government, and significant advancement in arts and architecture. It is also known as the Age of the Pyramids, due to the construction of monumental pyramids during this period. This period also included the famous pharaohs of the Egypt civilization, including Djoser, who built the Step Pyramid at Saqqara, the first monumental stone structure in Egypt. Another pharaoh, Khufu, built the famous Pyramid of Giza. Other great structures, including Great Sphinx by Khafre and Third Pyramid, were also built in this period. First Intermediate Period lasted from 2130 to 1938 BCE. This period is often characterized as the time of political fragmentation, economic decline, and social upheaval. During this period, centralized power collapsed due to weak pharaohs and increasing powers of provincial governors, nomarchs. Egypt was divided into two parts: northern rulers ruling from Heracleopolis and southern rulers from Thebes. This period was followed by drought, famine, and social upheaval. The First Intermediate Period ended when the famous pharaoh, Mentuhotep II of the 11th dynasty from Thebes, southern Egypt, defeated the rulers from northern Egypt, Heracleopolis, and reunited the Egypt that marked the beginning of the new era, known as Middle Kingdom, that lasted from 1938 to 1630 BCE, and was followed by political stability, advancement in arts, literature, and economic prosperity, and was ruled from 11th to 13th late dynasty before again transitioning into Second Intermediate Period. Second Intermediate Period lasted from around 1630 to 1540 BCE. This period highlighted the vulnerability of Egypt to foreign influence and internal divisions. It was a time of political fragmentation and foreign rule between the Middle Kingdom and New Kingdom that is believed to be the result of decline of centralized authority and division of Egypt into competing powers. It was ruled by the foreign powers. The group known as Hyksos, a Semitic group from the Levant region, migrated to eastern Nile Delta and established their capital at Avaris, and controlled the lower or northern Egypt and ruled as the 15th dynasty. The Hyksos also introduced the modern technologies including horse-drawn chariot, composite bow, and improved copper metalworking that significantly helped them rule the Egypt's northern part and impacted the Egyptian military and cultural practices. While the native Egypt rulers ruled from Thebes in southern or upper Egypt, forming the 17th dynasty. It was Thebans that resisted Hyksos domination under different rulers until Ahmose I, who ultimately expelled the Hyksos and reunified Egypt, founding the era known as the New Kingdom. Despite tensions, this period saw cultural and technological exchanges between the Hyksos and native Egyptians, particularly in arts, weaponry, and architecture. The New Kingdom, also known as the Golden Age of Power and Prosperity, lasted from 1530 to 1071. It marked a time of imperial expansion, and Egypt became an empire, dominating Nubia and Near East. Egypt reached the peak of ancient Egyptian civilization in terms of prosperity, territory, culture, and arts. This period is known for one of the most renowned and powerful rulers from 18th to 19th dynasties, including Hatshepsut, a powerful female pharaoh known for trade expeditions, Akhenaten, who introduced monotheism, Tutankhamun, famous for his intact tomb that was discovered in 1922, and Ramesses II, famous for military expeditions. However, after them, the 20th dynasty experienced decline as a result of internal strife and external invasions that finally led to Third Intermediate Period from 1070 to 663 BCE, in which Egypt faced increasing incursion and influence from foreign powers, including Libyans, who settled and integrated into Egyptian society and then eventually became rulers. After them, Nubians conquered Egypt during 25th dynasty, bringing cultural and religious revivalism. Then in late period, Egypt was invaded by Assyrians and was attacked by Persian Empire too. That weakened the Egypt's unity, but after 26th dynasty, known as Sate dynasty, that resorted some stability, Egypt fell to Alexander the Great 332 BCE. In 334 BCE, Alexander the Great led the Macedonian army against King Darius III, and after winning the Battle of Granicus and later defeating King Darius III himself in Battle of Issus, Persian Empire retreated, and Alexander marched through the Levant region, conquering Tyre and then Gaza. As Egypt was left behind, Alexander conquered it with no resistance and was welcomed as a liberator, and was given the title of pharaoh that marked the beginning of a new Hellenistic age. Alexander also founded the city at the bottom of the Nile and named it Alexandria. After Alexander's death, his most trusted companion and general Ptolemy, who was assigned by Alexander in Egypt, established the Ptolemaic dynasty in 323 BC that ruled Egypt for almost 300 years until the Roman annexation, when Julius Caesar defeated Ptolemy XIII and helped Cleopatra VII secure the throne. After Caesar's assassination in 44 BCE, Cleopatra aligned with Mark Antony, and they were defeated by Octavian, also known as Augustus, in Battle of Actium in 31 BCE. Both Mark Antony and Cleopatra committed suicide, hence marked the end of Ptolemaic era and also the end of 3,000 years of pharaonic state. Later, Augustus ruled Egypt as a province of Roman Empire and significantly changed the Egypt's culture and religion, and after the Roman Empire, Egypt was conquered by Arab Muslims, marking the new era in Egyptian history and culture. Ancient Egypt civilization was one of the most remarkable and enduring civilization in human history, lasting for over 3,000 years. Its legacy in architecture, art, science, and culture continues to fascinate people worldwide, and its monuments like the pyramids remain symbols of human ingenuity and ambition and continue to influence the modern world.